The toughest ticket in NASCAR. Bristol Motor Speedway for the night race. Under caution early after a multi-car crash. Here's our Wendy's race menu. The Southern 500 next Sunday. NBC 12:30 Eastern Time from Darlington Raceway. That'll be a good one. Remember the finish there in the spring between Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven? See some more of that excitement next weekend. Then it's on to Richmond, New Hampshire, and Dover as we cover the race for the championship on NBC and TNT. Marty.
Well, Todd, this is a little early even for Bristol. What happened?
Typical Bristol. I don't know, a couple guys in front of us got squirrely, and we all started checking up. And you got the rule of 5 here at Bristol. Yeah, I don't know, can't see who it is, but you got the rule of 5. The 5th car back usually gets turned around. Unfortunately, there was probably 4 of us in this one, but there's nothing I could do. I got run into from behind. I saw it happening. Yeah, it looks like Casey got me from behind there, but just one of those deals at Bristol, nothing you can do about it. It's a shame for National Guard and this crew. We had a really good car. We were 13th in happy hour, really good on old tires. Everything you need at Bristol to run up front. Unfortunately, now we're behind the wall and National Guard forward.
Spectacular wreck last week, early wreck this week. Dave?
30 car of Steve Park thought they could go ahead and fix the toe, get it back out there. He realized they couldn't. They're going to have to replace, among other things, a left side tie rod and a center link. Those are suspension parts. Steve's going to be in here a while. Alan?
All right, Dave, thanks. 1 to go here is the signal. They'll go back under green next time. Here's our NASCAR Busch Series update. Michael Waltrip with a little bump and run move on Ron Hornaday last night to take a win here at Bristol. Championship, Scott Riggs opening up a little bit of a lead on David Green. They run at Darlington this Saturday. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series update. Travis Kvapil passed Kevin Harvick when Harvick blew a right front tire, leading, coming to the white flag here Wednesday night. Kvapil with his first win of the season and holding on to a very slim lead in the Truck Series championship standings. They're up again at Richmond 1 week from Thursday night, and we're coming to the green flag. Jeff Gordon, the 17th race at Bristol that he's led in 22 career starts.
And BP, here's where the guys in the back got to really stay on their toes, because now they're all strung out. They're getting the green here on the start-finish line when there's guys still in the backstretch. So
yeah, that's right. They're 43 long now, not 22 rows.
You know, Robbie Loomis told me this afternoon this was a situation he was hoping for. He hoped they get an early caution, get the field lined up single file for a restart so they could try and put a bunch of guys a lap down early. There's fewer people you have to race with for the win later.
It's working perfectly so far. I was surprised during that caution flag. I did not see a lot of those guys that through the field go in and make any adjustments, but maybe 5 or 6 laps was not enough to really find out what the car was going to do.
yeah, I don't think they even had their pressures built up yet in those 4 or 5 laps that they had. So probably would really be second guessing themselves on what the chassis is doing without having the tire pressures up yet.
Only guys that pitted under the caution were the guys who got some damage in the accident. Christian Fittipaldi, Casey Mears, pitted. Kyle Petty and Todd Bodine are behind the wall, as is Steve Park. Michael Waltrip, Kurt Busch, 15 and 97. That's the race for 4th and 5th. With lots of company from behind. Ryan Newman and Ricky Rudd and Dale Earnhardt Jr. all stacked up tightly there together.
You cannot make a mistake when you're driving on this place. I mean, you are looking at the car ahead of you, and you have to be perfect, because if you make one slip, especially this time of the race, when everybody is nose to tail, and you slide up the racetrack, you're going to lose a lot of spots.
There's going to come a point in the night where the lane will widen out a little bit.
A little bit.
Unlike a lot of tracks where you'll see guys running the higher lane searching for better handling, you just won't see that here.
No, what you'll see is you'll see guys kind of diamond the racetrack. They'll go in the corner right here, then you'll see them slide up the racetrack, they'll let their car take a bite, then they get on the gas and they drive back down the racetrack. So you're not going to see, like you say, Ellen, you're not going to see guys running that high line up along the wall like you see at Michigan or places like that.
Talked about Kyle Petty being behind the wall, Dave.
Yeah, and he has worse damage than Steve Park. Right now they're trying to loosen up that left front suspension area. That whole wheel assembly and spindle got jammed up in there, and they're trying to be careful because that spring is now loaded in there.
Yeah, so it break the thing loose and...
That'd be a surprise.
Yeah, yikes.
Like Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's nothing the driver hates worse than having to come back on any racetrack, but especially this place, with a tore-up race car and just try to drive around and make up some
for some points.
Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin have sailed away from the pack for now. This is the race for third on back.
I can't really tell who's holding who up in this group. Ricky Rudd just was trying to make a move on Ryan Newman in the 12 car, so obviously his car a little bit faster, but is Michael the guy holding him up? Is Kurt Busch? Is it Ryan?
Might just be that Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin are that much faster.
It could be all these cars are running exactly the same speed, and you're right, those guys are driving away.
But it's not going to be long before Gordon catches the tail end of the field, and then these guys are going to be right back up on his bumper.
Oh, that Nemechek got way out of the groove over there in turn one. And Jeff Gordon is, I mean, he's gaining some ground here on Tony Raines, who started 12th. So Tony went from 12th to dead last in 24 laps.
And Tony can't keep his car at the bottom of the racetrack in the corners, and they were freight trained under him like we were talking earlier. So when Jeff Gordon gets to him, he'll have that inside lane open to try and duck in. Checking back again, there was Mark Martin, and now that race for third.
Yeah, Michael's giving a lot of pressure to Skinner right here.
Great qualifying run for Mike Skinner. I mean, they were 42nd in practice and came out and put the 01 car in fourth on the grid.
Well, Junior was trying to get on the inside of Ricky Rudd off turn 4, could not quite make it.
And a lot of times what you'll do here is you'll pull down into the left lane and let the guy think that you're there. And if he hesitates just a little bit, then you fill that hole. And that's what a lot of times you see a lot of cars pull out and hoping that the driver in front of you will just hesitate that second.
Ted Musgrave subbing for Jimmy Spencer in the 7, getting the Bristol shuffle. Got nudged up into that outside lane, and about 4 of them went by him. Musgrave now back to 13th spot before he gets back in line. So Jeff Gordon closing in on the tail end of the field to start to put some cars a lap down. He's led all 29 laps that have been completed so far in the Sharpie 500 at Bristol. Bristol Motor Speedway, they call it Thunder Valley in Tennessee. The Sharpie 500 playing tonight before another sellout crowd of 164,000. Nothing's changed on the leaderboard. Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Mike Skinner still holding down the top 3 positions. Robbie Gordon started 22nd tonight. Folks at Sharpie brought in 10 fans from around the country, and one of them was selected as the finalist in this contest, and BP helped pair her up with Robbie Gordon.
I actually do send his name out of a bag, and so if Robbie Gordon wins the race tonight, Cindy Maxwell will win $1 million, and I will get, thank you, BP.
That's it?
That's it.
Come on. I guarantee it should give you a little bit more than that.
No.
So we'll see how Robbie Gordon makes out tonight. Right now he's running back in 18th place. Jeff Gordon about to catch the tail end of the field. Joe Nemechek in 36th place is the last car on the lead lap. Larry Floyd, Casey Mears, and Tony Raines have just been overtaken by the leader. How about Rusty Wallace? 9-time Bristol winner. Well, he's kind of struggling a little bit right now. He's back in 16th place. Started 20th. He hasn't moved up very far.
But right now, just good, clean racetrack. About where you'd want to be, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, not typical Rusty here at Bristol, Benny. Normally you expect to see him just steamrolling his way to the front, but the car is loose up off. Watch for these guys to try and use some pit strategy tonight. Not that anybody else isn't, but watch for them to try and use their pit work to get Rusty the advantage on pit road. 85 races since he's been to victory lane. 9 times he's won here. Would like to make it 10 tonight.
And the paint job a little bit different on Rusty's car tonight. This is the opening race of that Winston Victory Lap program you may have heard or read about, saluting past Winston Cup champions during R.J. Reynolds' reign as sponsor of the sport. Rusty tonight saluting the late Alan Kulwicki, the 1992 champion, lost his life in a plane crash on the way to the spring 93 race here at Bristol. Rusty said he'd like nothing better tonight than to win the race, spin around and do the old Kulwicki Polish Victory Lap in Alan's memory here tonight.
See, Earnhardt Jr. going by Ryan Newman. Here comes Matt Kenseth. Battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th. And Ricky Craven trying to follow these guys through in a tide ride.
After Ryan, the lack of luck or success he's had here at Bristol, he just wants these guys to pass him without getting bumped and spun around. Backing into the fence. Shoveling it up behind him. Jimmy Johnson trying to move through. Now Kenny Wallace up out of the bottom lane. 23 car.
Boy, and you can see when you're up in the bottom lane, there just isn't a grip up there. Very hard to hold your position, let alone it's almost impossible to pass a guy up there.
Tony Stewart by Kenny Wallace for 13th. Dave Blaney working on Kenny there now.
Yeah, that red, white, and blue car is Blaney, different paint job.
There you go. He got slid in. But when you see a guy up in that high lane, you hurry up and try to get behind the other guy as close as you can because you want to keep that car up there to gain that spot.
Michael Waltrip stood up at the drivers' meeting a couple hours before the green flag and said, I want everyone tonight to wish Kenny Wallace a happy 40th birthday. So now all of his competitors know that Kenny turned 40 today.
Now, how's Rusty going to say, happy birthday, little brother?
Get out of my way.
Exactly.
Coming through.
And he may give him a present he doesn't want.
That's what I was thinking.
Kenny in 15th, Rusty in 16th. That's Kevin Harvick right behind them in the black and silver 29.
Look, Kenny giving him room. Look at those brakes already on Rusty's car. The rotor's cheering red.
So Rusty through and Harvick through. That'll give Rusty 15th spot, Harvick 16th, and Kenny Wallace now left to fight with Robbie Gordon for 17th.
Not much of a fight.
Not much he can do. Talking about brakes, BP. How about a look at Kenny Wallace's car?
Yeah, that red that you see is the brake rotor over in this area. And look how much this tire deflects down here when the car goes in the corner. He comes off the straightaway, it straightens up, he gets to the corner. Look how it's trying to roll that tire off the rim.
To give you an idea of just how rough this Bristol track is, watch that suspension move. I mean, the drivers are taking a beating inside the car here, not just from the G-forces, but from the racetrack. So Kenny Wallace now back to 20th spot. He is about a half a lap behind Jeff Gordon, the race leader. Gordon out in front, all 54 laps so far, trying to put Sterling Marlin in 34th place, 1 lap down.